Let's go.
Maybe a little bit. Oh, man. Welcome to the PHNX Rising Show World Cup edition, or World Cup season, as we have it on our Twitter account. I'm Ramon Chavez, joined by Max Simpson. I'm a lot more calmer than last time that we did this show because Mexico was playing. But now, with the U.S. playing, I kind of want to throw it over to you to see how you're feeling after this 0-0 draw with England.
Yeah, I mean, perspective's a crazy thing. You know, we drew against Wales 1-1, and I was incredibly downtrodden, sad, lamenting, exacerbated, all these synonyms, and it was the same result. Today, we play England, don't even score a goal, and in the grand context of how the group is shaping out, I'm actually incredibly happy. I think that England was the better team slightly in the second half, but it's because U.S. was the far more dominant team in the first half. And really, if you look at the game overall, U.S. had their chances. I think they played better. I think they were a bit sharper, but this match, when you look at it all said and done, if England didn't win, that is a win for the U.S. because how this group is shaping up, but also England has never beaten the United States. The streak continues. The streak continues. Average mediocrity. Let's go.
1950, 1-0. The U.S. shocked England. That was the first time they ever faced each other in a World Cup. And then 2010, infamous, right? The 1-1 game. Clint Dempsey getting the goal for the U.S. But let's talk a little bit more about this game. I was a little bit disappointed. You know, I know a lot of people are taking this as a positive result, which it is. You know, you get a point in the World Cup, super important. But I think everyone, since the World Cup, draw happened, was circling this date on their calendar. Black Friday, U.S. versus England, soccer versus football. It was going to be an insane.
It's the Pringles commercial all over again. Or the Lay's, excuse me.
Yeah. And I don't know. It kind of felt anticlimactic because I was expecting fireworks. I was expecting more offense, and I think this is what I've been seeing in these games that have been 0-0 in this tournament, that a lot of coaches rather take the point, which is fine. I understand that philosophy behind it, than to go and have a great show and provide entertainment for the fans that are in Qatar and sitting at home. And I think that's what happened today. I think both coaches were like, you know what? We're okay with the point, right? All right, okay, let's not hurt each other. Okay, let's just figure things out in our last game. And I think that was boring. You had millions of people watching. Some people were saying this was going to be the most watched soccer match in U.S. history. And it should have been. If it's not, I'd be really disappointed too. But who wants to watch this crap for 90 minutes, man?
Yeah, I mean, listen, make me no mistake. I'm very happy with the result. But if we're talking about the actual game we just watched, it's kind of baffling. I mean, we'll talk about this a bit more, how this looks for the context of the group. But Iran beating Wales 2-0. My condolences, Owen. I know our group chat's been a little silent this morning.
He was supposed to check in, right, for the show. Yeah. And he's like, fellas.
But the interesting thing is, you see that result if you're England, and you know that you can't win the group no matter what happens, this result, but you also can't assure yourself of even getting through. So you're thinking, I'm going to take it to the U.S. We have more of the talent. We just thumped Iran 6-2. And okay, let's get a win. Let's give ourselves a cushion because you never know what's going to happen at the final day. And if you look at this game, England pushed forward a bit, but it's almost like they were the more reserved team. I think that the U.S. went a bit after it and that they were the ones who was trying to get the dub. You look at this from U.S.'s perspective, same kind of thing. You see that you couldn't advance or go through no matter what the result is today. You knew that after that Iran win, they controlled their own destiny. They could have gotten blown out today. It doesn't matter. U.S. wins. We'll get into this later, but U.S. wins this match against Iran. Doesn't matter. We're through. So maybe it was them playing a bit more reserved, but it just made for a game where it was controlled primarily through the midfield. You had a couple shots here and there, but it was with all the talent happening and with how built up this game was, it was a bit of a letdown from what we watched.
Yeah, we want to be entertained. It's the World Cup, man. Let's see some fireworks. Let's take a look at the numbers right now from today's game because I don't think it tells the entire story. As you can see, the possession favored England 56% to 46. One shot on target for the U.S. I believe that was the Pulisic strike that hit the post, which just had everybody going. And then England, you had 3 shots on target. Passing accuracy, 83% for the U.S., 87% for England. And then total corners, 7 to the U.S. and 3 to England. So you look at those numbers, you can kind of say, oh, well, England was taking control of the game. They're the ones that were, pushing this game forward. And that was not the case. England really disappointed me with the amount of talent that they have. Rashford, Foden stayed on the bench, which was crazy. It's kind of like Gio Reyna staying on the bench for most of the game. And it's just, and you can't really explain it, why so many talented players just can't come together. The drop up from the Iran game to the U.S. game was incredible, and that kind of tells you what type of team England really is.
Yeah. We noted this from the start, that between both teams, there was only one change to the starting lineup, Haji Wright in for Josh Sargent. You're thinking that it makes sense. Both teams were pretty solid in the previous matchups. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You want to keep that continuity. Like, I had no problem with either team's starting lineup. But we all thought, okay, these guys are tired. It's going to be a very, very draining first half, which it was. So you're thinking, hey, we're going to see subs early and often, and maybe even right out of halftime. And I know that's something that you were kind of lamenting, where it's like, hey, the managers missed the mark, because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't pulled it up, but the first sub wasn't until in the 60s from a minute perspective, and you thinking like, you want to get this a little bit earlier. These guys are gassed. If we actually want to influence this game, let's get some guys going early. But I just didn't see it often enough. I mean, especially from the U.S. perspective, you're bringing on your first sub in the 70th minute, and I'm happy to see Gio Reyna in, but I wanted to see something a bit more urgency. This game was there for the taking, and honestly, from a U.S. perspective, guys look pretty gassed out there.
Yeah, and I think that's the word, urgency, because you see these teams like Saudi Arabia, you see the team like Iran earlier this morning, where they're literally playing out there like their life depends on it, and they want the result because they know they need it. And I didn't see that today, and that's kind of disappointing, because this is the World Cup, man. This is where you lay it out all on the line. You're supposed to go for the results. You're supposed to, impose your will in a way on these games. And I feel like today it was kind of like, we'll figure it out on Tuesday. We'll be fine. And that's not at least what I want to see. I know a lot of people are okay with it, but I'm not, because if for example, tomorrow, if Mexico does that, I'd be really, really upset, more than I'm upset now. And if you were able to join us at Four Peaks earlier today for the watch along, amazing time.
Oh, so much fun.
Packed crowd. Everybody was going. And you could have heard me and the rest of the crowd there just asking, where the heck is Gio Reyna at, man? Why do you put him in the 83rd minute to get 2 touches? And then what really bothered me was the last play of the game. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They had the free kick on England's side, and you could see Greg Berhalter just say,
slow it down,
go to the corner, and that's it. Yeah. Come on, man. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that at all, man.
I really hope that this morning's game didn't influence how the team played. And I think you might have seen it a bit of, okay, hey, there's 3 games out of this. Let's not completely tire ourselves out. But to me, you kind of split the difference of, you keep your guys in long and you make your subs late, so people are still tired out, but yet you still didn't really go forward in this game to at least give yourself a bit of the cushion. I mean, if you are, I'll look at this from both perspectives. If you are the U.S., to me, in a really weird way, this is actually, to me, what I think you want from the last match of, no matter what happens in the England-Wales game, you control your own destiny. You must win against Iran. And I think if the U.S. goes into this last match meaning, oh, well, you could have had a draw, like, it's okay, I think that's where they play horribly, because then you kind of, maybe we're a bit defensive. We don't know what to do. I think because of how this table in Group B is stacking out, you have your backs against the wall. You need to go on your front foot. Iran has been vulnerable to teams who play with the ball like England. England is very different than Wales. Still a bit of a shock this morning, but England plays incredibly offensively. They got that big result against them. Wales is a bit more hit on the counter. US, when they are playing with the ball, they can beat Iran. So I'm happy from their perspective. If you are England, you right now are sitting on 4 points, and I mean, look, you're chilling, like, right? You're in a good spot. I mean, right? Like, they're going to go through, barring an absolute collapse of Wales beats them and goal differential, but. I mean, I don't know. Like, I favor how US is at right now, and you're going to face a very hungry Wales team, and we'll see what happens. But I'm just kind of baffled how both teams approached this one, knowing what was at stake. This is where you can't really look ahead and put on all your eggs into that last group stage basket, and I think both of them really did. Yeah,
and that's what it looks like. So, but here's the thing, and then I think this is one of the last things I'll say about this, but the U.S., depending on that last game, if I'm the U.S., I'm not taking Iran lightly. We saw what happened today where, Iran, it took like, 98th minute?
98th and 99th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But still, those guys, like I said, those guys are fighting and they're going to keep playing. And when you're in that World Cup stage, man, anything goes, man. Like these guys are hungry. They're dangerous. They see kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're going to fight for it in their last game. So I don't want these U.S. players, even though, and I think this is when they could get in trouble because they're young. Greg Berhalter haven't liked his substitutions this World Cup, and that's where they could get in real big trouble if they don't take this seriously and get those at least 1 point in order to move forward. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. They'll play on Tuesday, I believe, and so that's going to be the defining moment for this Group B. Before we wrap up, like Max was saying, 4 points for England. They lead the group right now. 3 for Iran, USA with 2, and then Wales at the bottom with 1. Yeah,
Iran really messed this entire group up.
I feel so bad for Owen, man. Like, I even texted him. I was like, "Hey, man, that sucks." Sorry.
We are going into the final match day where there is not a single spot solidified. Anyone can finish in like essentially any order in this group. It's absolute pandemonium. I do feel bad for Owen, but I mean there is a world where US and Wales advance.
That is true.
It's crazy, but yeah, I mean this game. Lot to say about it. I think there's chances missed, and I just would have approached it differently if I was the managers, but we aren't. I will shout out our DraftKings king of the game. It's kind of hard to pick one because these guys were kind of all over the place. Again, kind of a meh game where it was really in the midfield, but I will shout out Walker Zimmerman, our DraftKings king of the game. Yeah. I think especially him, knowing that a lot of people were calling for him possibly even to not start this game because of last game's mistake. He did have 5 recoveries. I really didn't feel threatened. You have that onslaught of attacking talent that England possesses, and they just kind of bossed that back line, right? He had that one block where Harry Kane was clear on goal. One of the best, England's best chance of the game for sure, where Harry Kane was sitting 12 yards away and he just stood him up, blocked him out. Yeah. Love that. Good passing out the back. And again, like you could have picked him, you could have picked Tyler Adams, you could have picked Matt Turner. No one... Again, I'm kind of splitting hairs between there was no one incredibly amazing on the U.S., but I'm going to give it to Walker Zimmerman as that redemption game, and he is our DraftKings king of the game.
Yeah, I think he had a great bounce back game. He did get a lot of heat for that mistake that basically gave Wales the point there during their first matchup. But here's the thing with defending, man. Like if you mess up, then they're not going to look at anything else you did.
You can be great for 89 plus minutes,
which is what happened.
One mistake that messed it up, and that's what we were kind of dogging on him for last game.
Yeah, so great bounce back game. I think him and Tim Ream are working well in the back. Yeah. And we'll see if that can continue next game for sure. But yeah, Walker Zimmerman, DraftKings king of the game. And speaking of DraftKings, if you guys haven't downloaded the app, what are you waiting for, man? We got the World Cup going on. We got NFL. We got NBA. We got college football. Man, so many stuff going on. I can't even keep track. If you guys are new to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you guys can download the app now. Use code PHNX and place a $5 bet on any NFL team this weekend to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do, and that's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply, and you guys can check out the show notes for more details.
I still have a couple World Cup bets going that gosh, it's kind of looking a little dicey. I did pick US to come from behind and win at any point during this during the entire World Cup. I would love that. I mean, I don't want to go down to Iran, but maybe, hey, that's a heck of a time. I thought it was going to happen today.
Yeah, maybe that's what lit the fire on their bellies, man.
We'll see what happens. But I did get a nice boost. It was minus 150 for US to score a goal today, and through just a nice boost by DraftKings, it got to plus 150. I put down some money. Unfortunately, they didn't end up scoring, but hey, DraftKings has been all over it with just some nice random promotions during this World Cup. Still have Larizzo Martinez with Argentina to win the Golden Boot. That one's still kind of tough, but it's
we don't want to see any of his goals tomorrow. Yeah. That's not what we're looking for.
No, but a lot of fun betting. Actually, I see Devin's comment. Max, where'd you get that scarf from? It looks fire. Well, let me tell you, my friend, it is right. Black Friday, is it not? So please, 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 anyone who wants to get a hold of this scarf, we also have some awesome shirts that I'm actually not wearing myself. Ramon has a nice PHNX shirt as well. Producer Emma has a nice Sun Devil shirt. Wait for it. Hey! Let's go, Forks Up, baby. But hey, if you want to get your hands on any of these, head on over to the PHNXlocker.com. You can save up to 90% off.
Hold up, 90%?
That is a 90, folks. Not a 19, a 90.
I heard there were 99-cent shirts too.
There are a couple 99-cent shirts. At least there were. I mean, hey, we might have sold it out, but hey, I think there's still some left. You can get our scarf, you can get our shirt, all the great stuff there. Plus, when you spend $75, you're gonna get a $15 back. I'm no mathematician, but that's like you're getting money for free. Bam.
I love Black Friday because I can get all my holiday shopping done in one sitting in one day. So if you guys got some, PHNX fanatics, make sure, or diehards, I should say.
Oh, yeah, man.
Go to our website, phnxlocker.com, get your shirts, gift them. They're really great gifts. They're comfortable. I wear these all the time, not just because I'm here in the office. So.
Also, by the way, Devin, this scarf is fantastic because it's from Roughneck Scarves, kind of we work through. It's nice and a summer scarf. It's very nice, refreshing, but it also
you compare this to this one.
That one's thick. That's a thick. That's a thick boy, but this one's a little bit lighter. I can wear it during the summertime, during the winter, all that stuff. But hey, it looks nice, and I saw a lot of people holding it up in Fort Beeks today. I was say I know we got the video, by the way. I do want to shout them out because the atmosphere there was just incredible, man.
Insane,
we had our first U.S. watch party there on Monday, Mexico on Tuesday, there today. We'll talk about it a bit later, but we're back there with Mexico, Argentina tomorrow. Just a fun time. I mean, the fans there, give it up to them. It was just listen. Da 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 da. So catchy.
All they really needed was the drums and I'd get the party going, but I see they're using the table there.
I like my camera work where I'm just bouncing up and down with my phone. Hey. No, but it was
great.
It was fantastic. It was just packed to the brim and in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Shout out Hannah, our server, by the way. She was working the entire section of 80 plus people.
Bad. I was
it was a madhouse. She was amazing.
Respect. Respect.
Appreciate Fort Beeks. Great service there per always. We were enjoying the $3 wows and the kilt lifters, and not just, but also, like I said, tomorrow, Mexico, Argentina, we are also going to be there.
That's right.
And we're doing our post-game show there as well.
That is right. And we're going to have a special guest, Aiden Quinn, will be joining us. This is the first ever time that we've talked to Aiden Quinn, at least on the show.
Very excited.
And so very excited to get to interview him, get to know him a little bit better, and get his thoughts on the game. Hopefully get his thoughts on a Mexican victory, but we'll see what happens. And one of the best players that PHNX Rising has had, and we're lucky to have him there in Fort Beeks. It's having a great time.
Absolutely. Also, shout out a new thing as well that I learned today is tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm going to be making an appearance on PHNX Bets. Whoa. Shane and I, we're going to be live from Fort Peaks doing some World Cup bets and whatnot. So join us for that as well.
Ooh.
Max, I'm really glad that you knew that because I was just about to tell you oh, hey, we're also doing bets there. Not sure if you knew.
Yeah, he called me this morning. I'm like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, I thought you'd never ask. I would love to. Yes.
Crossover event. You can't miss it.
Yes, but join us tomorrow. Again, as well. Final match of the group stage next week, Tuesday, for the U.S. versus Iran, and then Wednesday, Mexico versus Saudi Arabia, which for U.S., we already know it's pivotal. Depending on how tomorrow goes, it's going to be very pivotal as well. So join us for all of these.
That is right.
Yes.
That is right. And I want to shout out everybody that's in the comments right now. PHX with the Aguilas picture. I see that. Yeah, shout out to you. Josh Hunt, the legendary Josh Hunt. Sly here. Saw Devin there earlier in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this is not a regular time. We're a little bit earlier than usual, but always appreciate you checking it out. We've been away for a couple of days, so there were a few games that happened. Let's take a quick look back at some of the games. Let's start with Wednesday. We had Germany versus Japan. Did you get a chance to watch that one? Because that was insane.
If you recall our preview show, I picked Germany and Japan to both get out of the group. Germany, it's looking a bit dicey after that one, but Japan, make no mistake, and yes, I'm biased because they beat the US. That was very much influenced by my decision, but they are no joke. This is the first time in... Oh gosh, they put it on the stat. I think it was like the last 24 matches or something like that, that Germany took a lead and then lost. Like first time in a while that they gave up that type of lead. Japan just, man, they hang around. That touch at the end where you have that diagonal runner, the ball coming in over the top, just that feathery one touch, lead him in stride, and then goes upper corner on Manuel
like
Neuer.
The Landon Donovan goal from 2010. That's the first thought that came into my mind.
I mean, honestly, man, it was that type of angle, and just Manuel Neuer couldn't do anything about it. That was quite the dice up from that group.
And that was yet another result of this World Cup that just kind of, I don't want to say baffle because all these teams are talented, but you're kind of like, every team can win. Yeah. There's no team that comes in so much that, like, as far as an underdog, that they can't stay around and get these victories. So, you know, except for Costa Rica. But every other game has been great. Even the 0-0s have been great, even though, you know, I'm not a fan of those. But I'm just saying, like, this may be the year of the underdog, man. Like, you never know, because these teams are suffering, and you never know what can happen. So, speaking of Costa Rica, 7-0 against Spain. That was an early game, so once I saw 4-0, I'm like, I'm gonna take a quick nap because.
I mean, it's okay. Here's a fun game. The average team usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 400 passes per game. Do you know how many Spain had?
I want to say like 600.
More.
Jesus, 7.
More.
8.
More.
9.
More.
No way. 1,000 passes.
More. 1,073 passes.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of passes strung together, and I always get them confused. It's not Pedri. Gavi. Thank you. 17 years old, the youngest goal scorer since Pedri. My word, that is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Like, the talent. Just absolute talent.
We see Josh, huh? He's a España aficionado.
When you have Morata scoring, you know it's been a good game.
Yeah, that midfield, even though they're really young, man, it kind of is reminiscent of Xavi and Iniesta, you know, and then the passing, the technique, the composure in the midfield, which is rare, man. Like Spain just happens to have two of the most talented, teams in this World Cup. And then one of the mind-blowing stats, you know, for me is that come 2026, Gavi's only going to be 22 years old.
It's insane. I mean, they have a core.
Jesus,
like Spain, I think for so many years, they rolled out these older teams, and then it's, well, who's going to be the next generation of guys? And you have just a midfield and some of those attacking trios like a Dani Olmo and guys like that who they're just young. Like, you have them not even in their prime yet. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was a crazy result. And then that Wednesday finished off with Belgium versus Canada. Look, Canada should have won that game. Belgium, I was not impressed. I picked them to go all the way to the final, but they just look so old, and Kevin De Bruyne just didn't look great. And if he's not great, I don't think any of the other team is going to function. So Canada should have won that. Best performance that I've seen, at least from a losing team this World Cup. So hopefully they can get on the board next.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you know, it's crazy. That's why the midfield trio of the Udas. Yeah, the shoulda, coulda, and woulda. You know, we thought that they were gonna, you know, this is why we can't predict these things. You know, Canada was the better team, and you know, Alphonso Davies took a penalty. He has never attempted a penalty for Canada. Jonathan David, your number 9, is 9 for 12 in his career on penalties for Canada.
Yeah.
I know Alphonso Davies is your captain. He is your poster child. Why? Like, you got to put the moment aside and think, who is my guy? And it was not a good pen. It was not a good pen. Yeah, I know you have Thibaut Courtois, who is 6'6" with arms, but, you know, it was just not a great look and really disappointing for Canada, who I picked them to get out of the group. It's still very possible, but that is a very tough result considering what else is going on in that group. Yeah,
definitely. So we'll keep an eye on them. Hopefully they can at least get some points. It's 36 years since they last played. Mexico 86 was the last time Canada was able to go to the World Cup. So you definitely want them to do well. Let's talk about yesterday's game. Switzerland got a goal against Cameroon, got that victory. Uruguay, South Korea, disappointing game. Uruguay just not one of the teams that I picked to be a dark horse dark horse, they looked really bad, man. South Korea as well. So hopefully they can get that going. But the last 2 games of that day were pretty interesting. Portugal, Ghana, and then you have Brazil, Serbia. So let's start with that Portugal, Ghana. Of course, whenever Cristiano Ronaldo is involved in any capacity, it's going to be a great game. But Portugal, I don't know, man. A lot of questions after that game.
Yeah, not a overwhelmingly convincing performance. They have the talent in spades. I mean, that pen, I think, is soft. Very, very soft. I don't think
seen that a lot.
I don't think that was a pen. Like, I get he's running full speed, and yeah, he had a little tap, like he got the ball, whatever. Yeah. But anyway, Ronaldo buries it, Ghana, answers, and it was just kind of a game that was a lot closer than you would have thought, especially when they go up 3-1. You're thinking this is done and dusted, but Portugal's defense really leaky. And then, I mean, that end where we didn't even see it from the camera angle. I mean,
they were doing a replay or panning to the crowd or something. Yeah.
And we just hear the announcers freaking out, and it's like, what's going on? And then you flash back, and it's, this guy, he did the classic, I'm just going to hide behind the keeper. He's going to put the ball down, and I'm going to sneak up behind him, try to tap it in. He was he's probably thinking in that moment, like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then he just, he kind of bit moments too big because so much adrenaline's going through you.
Yeah, it was an insane game, man. And it really took until the 65th minute when that penalty happened to kind of open up the game. And I think that's sometimes what you need in these situations, because we've seen a lot of 0-0s this World Cup. That it's kind of boring. It's hard to sit through 45 minutes maybe and 60, 75 minutes of nothing, So when the game opens up like that, it just becomes really fun, and you get entertainment. But yeah, Ronaldo, João Felix, and Rafael Leao were able to score for Portugal. Let me ask you about the celebration though from Ghana. He did the what's his name, Bukhari. He did the Sue right in front of Ronaldo once he was on the bench. What are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely love it. I mean, listen, these guys have. I'm not sure how old he is, but I'm sure a lot of players around the world have been either looking up to Ronaldo or if they've seeing his celebration for years, and like. Dude, I just think that's the ultimate form of trolling. You're using your opponent's classic finisher against him.
You gotta do it better than that. You look like a toad.
He held it a bit, and he didn't do the whole like stance and plant it in the ground as much as Ronaldo does. But like, I love the gamesmanship. Like, good on him.
Oh my god. Well, imitation's the sincerest form, right?
Yeah, it is.
And then a couple of other games. Actually, let's talk about the Brazil game, because that was insane. This was during my Thanksgiving dinner, so I didn't catch a lot of it. But I did catch that Richarlison goal. Insane, man. How do you even think about doing that?
I mean, listen, he plays for Spurs. Are we really that surprised? No, but listen, he's got that dog in him. He is a true out-and-out number 9 for Brazil. For Spurs, he kind of plays that hybrid, like sometimes a wing, sometimes he's a striker. But he was tenacious all game. That's why he goes, I put him in over Jesus even before the lineup was announced. I'm like, you got to put him in because he's the one that presses. He works incredibly hard, and he makes those runs in the box that, like, he has a nose for goal. Unlike anyone on that Brazil team. Like, yeah, Neymar, like all the attacking talent that they have, but there is no one who they hunt for those scrappy balls unlike him. And when he popped up with that bicicleta, I mean, not a full bicicleta, but it was still incredible.
Like a scissor kick.
You think like that man has the presence of mind to do this. Oh my word. Just so cool. So cool. That's an amazing, I mean, honestly, that is when I saw that, I'm thinking in terms of quality, that's like a James type goal.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah. And that's just the first game for Brazil. So I'm sorry Serbia had to take the punches in that opening game for them. But I don't think they look that, bad either. But when you're just facing Brazil, man, it's insane. A little bit of bad news in regards to the Brazil squad. I believe Danilo is out for a few games, and Neymar as well for the rest of the group stage. So he did suffer a knock there. So you won't be seeing him at least until the group stage, if Brazil is able to make it. So really fun games, man. It's just it's so many games. It's 4 a day, which is a lot more, and it's an extra game than we usually get. So
I mean, the crazy thing is you think this is the last World Cup where you're gonna have your 8 teams of 4, and then next World Cup when it expands in 2026, when it's here in North America, in USA, Canada, and Mexico, it's going to expand to 48 teams, and you're going to have 16 groups of 3. And I say that because, I mean, you're going to go from 3 matches in your group to 2. So I think a bit of caginess in this opening round of fixtures in these groups. Look for the rest of these groups, the second match day and especially the third, to really open up, because like this first one, you're kind of feeling it out, see we're going to be in the position of the group. You have to go for it, especially these teams you're sitting on 0 or 1 points. You're going to have to push more, and I think we're going to see a lot more scoring. I mean, we've already had 4 0-0 draws, which is already outpacing the last World Cup.
Most of them have been really good.
Right.
I'll give them that. But yeah, 0-0 draws, you don't want to see that in the World Cup. We only had 2, I believe, in 2018.
I think it was only 2, and we're already at 4, if I'm not mistaken, after this, England-US.
Yeah, so no more of those. But the games ain't stopping, and we ain't stopping. You know why? Because tomorrow we're going to be at Four Peaks over there in Tempe hosting the watch-along of Argentina versus Mexico. You saw how bad I was last game. As far as I had a mental breakdown there for a minute because of that penalty, but San Memo Ochoa came on through. But tomorrow it's going to define a lot of legacies, because if Argentina lose tomorrow and Mexico is somehow able to get the victory, this pretty much seals it for Argentina, and that may knock them out of the World Cup, which is absolutely, who would have thought about that, before the World Cup started. So, and if Mexico get the win, that would be their first win over Argentina in an official competition since 2003.
Wow.
They've only beaten them that one time in official competition. So a lot of riding on this game. Of course, Mexico got the 0-0 draw against Poland. Lewandowski was not able to get that penalty kick past Memo Ochoa. Of course, we all know what happened in Argentina against Saudi Arabia. So it's an insane group right now with Group C. So we can only see what's going on. And I want you guys to be there with us. So make sure to get there early. They're going to be opening up at 11, right? Or a little bit earlier?
Oh, I have been informed they might be opening a little bit earlier as well. I mean, today they opened up, I think, at like 8 o'clock for, day after Thanksgiving, little boozy brunch action that they had. I didn't buy anything from their menu, but it looked pretty
good. I just kept seeing the plates going by. So we want you guys to join us there. It's going to be a great time. So yeah, if you guys have RSVP'd on Eventbrite, if you guys are listening to us right now, make sure to get there early as you can. Get your table, get your seat, so that way you got the best view of that Mexico-Argentina game. And I'm going to be loud, man. I'm going to bring in my whole squad, man. It's going to be insane. So you saw me last time. Imagine that times 10. It's going to be insane. It's going to be a good time. And also, you guys can enjoy beer specials, giveaways. Of course, we're going to have Aiden Quinn there for our post-game show. $3 kilt lifters and Wow's wheat pint. So a lot of stuff going on there. And it's going to be a great time. And also, not to mention the 22-foot screen.
Let's go.
That's there. So great time.
Hey, wait, if you're drinking the beer, you do have to be 21 years or older.
Oh, that's true.
Purchase. Thanks.
Remember. Thank you, producer Emma. 21 years older to enjoy over there at Four Peaks, all the beer that they got. All right, Max. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Anything else we wanna discuss?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything too crazy. I will say I was scrolling Twitter because, I mean, it's always fun. There's always the updates and everything like that. And the randomest thing, I was looking at, we're putting out a lot of Black Friday stuff. All of our accounts are going pretty active. And I look over at our PHNX_Cardinals fans, football. And they tweet out JJ Watt wearing a U.S. men's national team little sweater. And look who replies. The U.S. men's national team with a little fist pow right there in the replies. I just thought that was kind of cool.
Shout out to JJ, man.
Shout out JJ.
He's the coolest football player, man. Not just Cardinals player, like NFL player, man.
I mean, he's also married and has a kid with NWSL. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? Please.
Ertz.
No.
Never mind.
Oh no, I'm gonna get roasted.
I just want to see you struggle now.
Stop it. Google, help me.
Let me just type it
Help me. I know it too. That's the worst part too. But anyway, yes, she is. He's. Keelia. Well, of course.
The disrespect.
Okay, I remembered. I'm not great with names. We know this.
Maximilian.
Oh shoot, she uses my fake full
Julie
name.
Ertz is also a soccer player, by the way. That's why I thought of it.
Well, yeah, Zach Ertz.
There you go.
Yes. Anyway, okay. Listen, I remembered as much as I can.
Both of you
anyway.
guys.
Okay.
We're trying here.
Listen, I had the presence of mind to at least think of it. Goodness, a lot of emotions. It's a glass case of emotion.
I am speechless.
Well, I mean, clearly not because you're talking. Anyway.
Fuck you.
Speaking of Cardinals players being cool as fuck, I want to shout out DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if you guys saw it on social media, but he went out yesterday on Thanksgiving. He went to UMOM, which is a women's shelter up there in East Phoenix. And I know this is not soccer related, but he handed out a lot of food with some people from Bacanora. So it's a Mexican restaurant. might have seen on HBO's Hard Knocks for the Arizona Cardinals. But it's just shout out to him, man. I love when players like JJ Watt represent what's going on. And I think U of A or ASU went up right now, but anyway, yeah, I just like when players are involved like that in the community and also what's going on in their country, like JJ Watt. So shout out to them, man. Great stuff to see, especially coming from the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of yelling, almost primarily from Saul. Can you please update us what happened?
I think that's all of Saul.
Currently, it is 14 ASU, 17 17 U of A, and we just made a fucking money play.
Oh, yeah,
Saul's upset.
So
go.
That's probably
that
why.
sounds about right. Yeah, man. No, it's. I mean, I'm pretty good over here. All I'll say is a interesting game we just watched. Trying to should get a little fist bump from Emma. Back there, yeah, very interesting match. I mean, again, a non-victory from England is a win from us. All lies in our hands, exactly where we want to be.
Yeah.
My attention now goes to you, and tomorrow is going to be freaking fun as heck, man. How I like. I know Mexico, it's a massive match, but like we get to watch Lionel Messi. It's a massive pivotal game. This is what we want, man. A little messy Saturday for you.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to be a messy Saturday for Messi because, I'm gonna be needing a bunch of OGs. I'm gonna be needing my nerves to be calmed down because, like, if you guys saw me over there at Four Peaks during the polling game, I was a total wreck. But it's gonna be a great time, regardless of the result. I have a lot of friends coming, a lot of people here from PHNX Rising that watch us. Some of the crew here from the office hopefully can make it, but it's going to be a great game, and that's what the World Cup is all about. These games, these moments that you're gonna remember with the people that you love and you enjoy spending time with. So it's going to be a great time over there at Four Peaks. So if you can, make sure to join us 12 p.m. like we said. Get there early if you can, because otherwise you might be standing for some of the game. But yeah, hopefully I can keep it on the wraps, man. I'm gonna be sweating bullets.
And I was gonna say, I know the beautiful thing about World Cup is that even if you're not a diehard soccer fan, or even you don't support a team super hard internationally, whatever, it's for everyone. It's for the neutrals, for everyone. And I mean, one of my favorite things is seeing our fans join us and just being along for the ride. Chris, one of the diehards, she is awesome. I mean, she's been to every single watch party so far, and she snapped a photo of Ramon and I.
No.
And I mean, if this doesn't perfectly capture just like the absolute nervous energy of what's going on, and like Ramon is dialed in. He doesn't even have a stake in this game, but if
I care, man.
You do care, but I mean, I get it. Mexico's your team, but like, if that doesn't define, like, I'm chewing my fingernails down to the dang bone. Ramon is like giving the look of like, hey, like I'm dialed in here,
that was
people.
bad,
but if that doesn't absolutely define what it's all about, what we're gonna see tomorrow, I love it. Like this is why we love this game. We really do, man.
For sure. And shout out to Chris and Charles for joining us there. Always a good time with them. So yeah, come on out. We can share a beer, not share a beer, but have a beer together and just have a good time there watching the games. But speaking of OGs, if you guys haven't yet, make sure to check them out online, ogsbrands.com. And as always, you can check them out at your local dispensary. They got all types of flavors. They got the tropical, they got the pineapple, the sleepy time. Basically, whatever you're looking for, they got it, man. So make sure to check them out. And remember, guys, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Well, you hope Lionel Messi sleeps a couple of OGs, you know what I mean? A little sleepy time, fall asleep on the pitch. Yeah,
we'll ship some over to Qatar over there. Oh, man, it's been a great show. Thank you, Max. We will be back, like we said, tomorrow on location at Four Peaks. We're going to be speaking to Phoenix Rising midfielder Aiden Quinn, man. That's crazy, man. We get all this access to the Phoenix Rising players, and they come out, and they want to come out and hang out with us because we're a good time. So
let's go.
All right, y'all. That is it from us here. We will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, I will be able to make it to the post-game show. But until then, take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.